Hey everyone, Selwyn here from WynnStrength.com, bringing you day 1 of week 10 of the Powerbuilding II template by Barbell Medicine. This will be the final week of the template, so if you like the video, please hit that like button below to support the channel, and I really thank you for watching. So being day 1, like usual, we'll be doing some competition style squats, followed with some wide grip incline bench press, and wrapping up with some Hatfield squats. So today's plan was to hit 455 at least, and then see where we can go from there. Base it on the RPE, we'll see if we can go higher, but at the very minimum we want to hit 455. So with all that being said, my regular warm-up happens with the empty bar and then ramping up with singles all the way up. A little bit disappointing today with the way the squats turned out. I think it's definitely showing signs that I do need to do a deload, because I thought it might have just been the last couple of sessions there, but it's showing a trend that my performance isn't as great as it was in the preceding weeks. So we were able to hit 455 for a single, but that was it. The RPE felt great. I don't think I should have gone higher because the RPE was feeling right at an RPE 8 and I really didn't want to push it too far, and I was hoping to get more volume work in there today by not overdoing it with the heavy singles. Unfortunately, what did happen was, as you can see in the video that I'll start to play, hopefully the timing is right, but with the video that just plays, it was not great for the first heavy volume set. So we were aiming to do 425 for reps of 5, which was happening in week 9 quite fine. However, I did get to rep 2 and I just wasn't feeling it today. Started to get really hot in the head, so I racked the weight again, caught my breath, and we had to drop it down to 385. So not the result I was looking for at all, but we still got the reps in, and we also hit that RPE 9, which was a target for today. So take it for what it is, but I think in the grand scheme of things, by me hitting RPE 9, even though the weight wasn't the target weight, I think my body is still getting that same stimulus of training that it should be getting, because from what I understand, the auto-regulation feature of the RPE means that today's RPE 9 at 385 was equivalent to the RPE 9 at 425 last week. So that kind of take it for what it is, but I think by using the RPE style training, we are able to get a nice training stimulus without having to tax the body too much and just grind through the heavy weights. Now, you could argue that I should have just pushed it because I am able to do 425 for 5. That's what it says in the notes. So there's two arguments there to be said. So just grind through it, just push through it and push as hard as you can. And the other one is to dial it back because the body wasn't feeling it today. Don't know what the deal is, but wasn't feeling it today. Maybe there was some sleep issues, some nutrition issues, some work issues. Whatever the case may be, today just wasn't there. We just had the overhead pressing session yesterday, so I didn't get a true recovery day in between the end and start of each week. But nevertheless, I think it's something that should always take into account is that RPE training and looking at when you should take a deload. And I think this is the trend is starting to become clear that I think I really do need to take a deload, a rest week before I tackle the next intensive template, next intensive session of programming. So I'm looking forward to that deload as well, so we can focus off of squats and focus on some other movements that'll help build up the squats in the long run. With that being said, always keep an eye on the long-term goal. Keep that longevity of your training in mind. You're not built after one session, you're built after repeated bouts of sessions. So always remember to leave some in the tank. And remember that you are building, you're not testing, and you're not wanting to max out every single day, especially when it's under heavy loads. You don't want to stress the body, but you don't want to overstress the body, and there's a balancing act there. So moving on, we did do some wide grip incline bench press. I had to modify the grip due to some hand issues. The wide grip just wasn't feeling great on my right hand, but when I brought the grip in a little bit, so it was more of a shoulder width style grip, the hand issues disappeared. I think it was the torque on the wrist affecting some sore joints in the hand. So again, not that big of a deal, not really too worried about it. Again, with the weights, wasn't feeling it, so we were shy again. This time we were shy 250. We did 215 pounds for a set of 8 at RPE 9. Last week it was 230 at 8 for an RPE 9, so again, showing some decreases in weight here. I was able to get out another extra set of volume when I lowered the weight from 195, so I did 2 sets of 195 at 8. 195 for reps of 8 at RPE 8 for 2 sets, which is a little bit more volume than last week, but a lighter weight. So we were able to increase tonnage, I guess you could say, but still decrease in intensity. I'm still enjoying the wide grip bench press. I think next time I do this, I'll vary the angle, just so we get a different training response again. From what I understand, there's no real best angle to attack an incline bench press with. I think the fact that we've shifted it from a flat to an incline is just great for a variety. Now, which angle is best? I don't think there is one from what I've researched and what I've read. So just pick whichever angle feels best for you, or whichever angle feels weakest for you, even then, where you can train some of the weaker angles that you might have. How that flows through to the flat bench press is still disputed and still not clear, but you are getting a more relevant accessory movement to the flat bench press because we are just changing the angle of the movement. Again, you want to focus on keeping that good form, that good technique, where you squeeze the shoulder blades together, drive the heels into the ground, and then have a little bit of an arch in the back. Still just focus on all the same training principles as you do for the flat bench for the incline bench press. And I think that's how to build up the bench press. Supposedly, it should transfer over. So wrapping up, we wrapped up with some Hatfield squats, and this is where I had the one win of today, which was we were able to increase to the final set of 300. So we finally cracked the 300-pound mark with the Hatfield squats. I'm actually really enjoying this movement. Something I've never done before, but the last 5 weeks using the Hatfield squats have been some of the best training stimulus. I think it's just a really enjoyable movement because it's just so novel and so new that I haven't done anything like it before, and I think it's just a really cool way to incorporate some back into the squat because you're able to almost pull yourself up with that support barbell and stand up, so you can really load this. You can really load the movement more so than you normally would. So being able to do 300 for sets of 10 is phenomenal, I think, for my current levels there. So I have to take off the handles because I think with the height of the support barbell and the height of my back, there's a greater chance of me hitting the handles on the support barbell, so I like to take the handles off to reduce any chance of accidents. I found that just around hip height, give or take a couple of inches, is a great height for the support barbell. It's not too low that you're hunching over, it's not too high that you're not able to pull yourself up with that support. A little bit wider than a shoulder width grip is also great. If you're too narrow, your arms get in the way of the support of the yoke of the yoke barbell, so it kind of pushes the barbell back. But if you widen it out a bit, it lets your arms move out of the way as you squat down and squat back up again. So all that being said, I'm curious to see how week 10 wraps up. I think I'm going to take a positive mindset because that's how we should attack every workout. But with all that being said, I am a little bit hesitant to see what the results are going to be just purely based on today's one workout. What I will do is have an extra rest day. I'll rest today and then hit it again in another day for day 2 where we focus on the bench press. Again, the 10-week straight of heavy workout isn't something I'm generally used to. I'm used to taking a break every 4 to 5 weeks. So I think that's something that everybody is different with. So keep that in mind when you are training and you are looking at the programs. I wouldn't be too worried about it if you push yourself a little bit further and you overreach a little bit, but definitely plan to have that deload week thrown in there. Just so that when you see the performance starting to linger after a couple of days, maybe even a week, give it a break so that way you give yourself a chance to recover and adapt to those stresses you've been placing upon it. I don't think you have to worry too much about plateaus and whatnot, because I think if you just keep plugging away it's just a matter of time before you break through that plateau. I think plateaus just kind of are there, and that's just a natural part of the journey. And if you just keep pushing and keep putting in that hard work, the plateau is just going to bust right through that, and it's not really something to worry about if you have that long term, that year, that 5-year, that 10-year time frame in mind. I mean, if you are still squatting the same amount in 10 years, maybe that's something to worry about, but you'll have some signals along the way before you get there. So with all that being said, I want to thank you again for watching if you've made it this far, trying this new style where I wrap up the videos and you'll see some training in the background. Please subscribe if you want to see the rest of the series, see how the final 3 workouts go, and then I will wrap up with a review of the template in its own separate video where I show some highlights and just go over my thoughts and the pros and the cons of the template that I think from my own personal experience, my own very limited knowledge of strength building and template reviews. Nevertheless, check out my blog, WynnStrength.com. That's where I put up a weekly write-up of every training session, so you'll see the weights, sets, reps, and RPEs used, as well as a little 2020 hindsight as to how I think the training session went. I'll leave links below for the Barbell Medicine crew as well, a great free resource with some evidence-based articles, as well as the availability of the digital templates that I am using today. Finally, wrapping it up, I want to thank you again for watching. This has been Selwyn from WynnStrength, and remember, a better life through strength.